The Gamemaster's Ultimatum 3. The Game End. Bangkok. A city of angels, now choked by the dust of devils. The White Phantom has painted our skyline with fire, and fear is the only language spoken. Thanatim, a name whispered with a mix of hope and desperation, is all that stands between us and oblivion. The clock ticks. Each second, an echo of screams beneath the rubble. A cracked phone blinks. Not a message. A warning, time isn't running out. It's chasing him. One man. One shot at redemption, before the silence swallows everything. The Chao Phraya, once a river of life, now mirrors a broken city. A rotting pier. Forgotten. Silent, here, the final reckoning begins. Thanatim stands alone. Facing the White Phantom, a ghost we all created, from grief and silence. Justice, the Phantom hisses, the word laced with venom. He sees only corruption, the festering wounds of a city left to rot. He sees Thanatim as another failed promise, another empty suit in a city of ghosts. Thanatim's voice cuts through the storm, not with anger, but with sorrow. He speaks, not to the Phantom, but to the ghosts beneath its fury, the mothers. The children. The lives crushed beneath revenge. You cannot rebuild the dead, he says. Vengeance cannot plant new roots, only ashes. The air crackles, not with thunder, but with truths left unsaid. Thanatim and the Phantom circle, not yet fighting, but every word, a blade drawn in dusk, then, a flicker in the Phantom's eyes. Not rage, but memory. A ghost of who he once was. A city betrayed. Promises, shattered like glass. He sees their faces, the forgotten, the buried, the silenced. Greed took everything. Indifference burned the rest, but now, as the fire rises behind him, one question lingers: is this destruction truly justice? The city whispers back, not with words, but with defiance. Amid ruins, hands reach for hands. Strangers share what little they have, not out of strength, but out of choice. Hope over despair. This resilience, soft, steady, unstoppable, shakes the Phantom's rage to its core. Inside the Phantom, a storm, rage, regret, wounds that never healed. In his hand, the phone, the detonator. The END.IT shakes, not from fear, but from the weight of everything he's done. One touch. And the city dies with him, but still, he hesitates. Would you like to end with what he chooses, or leave it in silence, unanswered? With a guttural cry, he lets go. The phone flies, spinning, falling, into the dark waters of the Chao Phraya. Silence. The countdown stops. The city, bruised, broken, breathes again. Sirens wail in the distance. Too late, as always, they come for the Phantom. To punish. To silence, but the silence has already been broken. Truth has already spoken, not with a shout, but with a choice, and choices can't be arrested. Thanatim stands amidst the wreckage, smoke curls. Ash falls like snow. But his eyes burn with quiet fire. The city is broken, but not defeated, because the fight, for its soul, has only just begun. The Phantom's wrath, born in fire, left behind more than ashes. It exposed the rot beneath marble halls and golden speeches. Corrupt leaders fall like dominoes. Their palaces of greed turned to dust, and the Prime Minister, once the face of promises, now just a face on a resignation letter, ink still wet with disgrace. The opposition leader, once cloaked in righteousness, is dragged into the light, not a savior, but a parasite. Feeding on fear. Thriving in silence, now, the shadows betray him. As the city awakens, the old order cracks, crumbles, and through the dust, something new begins to rise. Thanatim, once unwilling, once silent, now stands unshaken. He does not seek power. He seeks healing, brick by brick, wound by wound. He begins again, not as a warrior, but as a light. A beacon of hope in a world that forgot how to believe. The people, tired of lies, bruised by broken dreams, turn to him. Thanatim, not a politician, not a savior, but a man who stood, when the city fell. They see in him what the old world lacked: strength, compassion, and a soul that refuses to bend. He doesn't ask to lead, but now, he must. He is their last hope. Thanatim steps forward. No longer the dreamer, but the flame that survived the fire, forged in loss. Hardened by struggle. Shaped by every tear he could not stop. He knows their pain. Feels their fear. Carries their hope, like a torch in the dark. He does not promise paradise. Only that he will walk beside them, through whatever comes next. The game is over. The old rules? Burned with the buildings they protected. This isn't politics. It's survival. It's about more than broken roads and fallen towers. It's about stitching together what greed tore apart: a trust, a dignity, a shared humanity. This is not just the rebuilding of a city. It's the rebirth of who we are. A new beginning dawns, painted not in gold, but in resilience. And compassion. In unwavering hope, the human spirit, battered, but never broken, stands tall once more, and from the ashes, Bangkok will rise again.